Hi, my name is Max Reed, a photojournalism major at the University of Florida. This is a project that I worked on with a team of journalism students for a social media and social responsibility course in UF's Journalism and Communications department. So let me tell you about the 15%. The 15%, according to the USDA, is 49 million Americans who struggle with food insecurity. Now, food insecurity is a rather politically correct term. It really means hunger. It's the uncertainty and lack of availability of food. It's not like you're saying to yourself, should I have takeout tonight, or will I just cook at home? It's more like, I can't afford my next meal, I'll probably have to skip it, and I'll probably go to sleep hungry. Now when you look at the numbers, the 15% represents 17.4 million households that face food insecurity and hunger on a daily basis. That's 49 million Americans. And on an individual level, that's 1 in 6 adults and 1 in every 4 children. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, in Alachua County alone, that's 7,700 children ages 5 to 17 who are impoverished, nearly 25% of them. Now, let me tell you a little bit about who we are. We are a group of UF journalism and communication students hoping to create sustainable solutions in the fight against hunger. We use the tools at our disposal, our reporting abilities, photography, and our passion to record the lives of locals affected by hunger. Over the past 2 months, we documented the lives of volunteers, children facing hunger, and a dumpster diver. We were able to use social media, Facebook, Twitter, and WordPress, a blogging site, to link organizations to volunteers as a way to urge people to give back. Now, there are a number of organizations in our community that provide relief to hunger. We're able to document a few of them and a few of their efforts. The first story here is by Ashley Hemme, The Drive to Feed the Hungry. It's about the Home Van, which is led by Rupa Freeman and a team of volunteers who feed the homeless through a friendship-based organization. Now you'd be surprised, but the homeless only represent 10% of the food insecure population. So of the 49 million, only 4.9 are homeless. So who are the rest? Well, the rest are people like you and me. They have families. They live in homes or apartments, but they struggle to make ends meet. Sometimes their conflict is between paying the rent bill, the electricity bill, or whether to buy food for the week. And that takes us to our next story by Greer Ferguson, No Biscuits and Gravy Tonight. It's a story about 2 Gainesville children and their first-hand experiences with hunger. Now what I found that was interesting about her story is that these kids said that while they're at school, they have no issue with hunger. Their schools either provide them with free or reduced lunch, and oftentimes the after-school programs provide them with snacks. But there's this phenomenon called a food wasteland, or food desert. And that's the availability of food, but lack of nutritional value. Oftentimes they don't have protein or enough vegetables in their diet. The next story I'm going to talk about is about Stacy Gilbride. It's called Forgotten Treasures. This story highlights the main problem with waste in America. If you look at food and family kitchens alone, we waste about 96 million pounds of food a year. That's not even taking into consideration the amount of waste from restaurants or from the farming industry. When you break it down, we eat about 5 pounds of food a day. Over a year, that's 1,800 pounds of food. 1,800 pounds of food divided by the 96 million pounds that are wasted is 50 million pounds of food that could be fed to the 49 million Americans who go hungry every day. That would be our problem solved. In fact, hunger and malnutrition are the #1 risk to health worldwide. It's greater than AIDS, malaria, and tuberculosis combined. Is that her entire house is comprised of found objects, except for maybe her TV or laptop. But for 6 months of her life, she was actually homeless. Only 7 of those days were spent on the streets, and that's because of the amount of waste that we produce. She was able to survive off of gift cards. She'd find objects that still had the receipts, that still had their price tags on them. She'd return them for gift cards and whatnot. And she even found jewelry that she would pawn and make money off of. Sometimes she'd go to CVS or Winn-Dixie and find unopened packages of prescription pills, and she would go ahead and take those to St. Francis House. Or she'd find furniture or clothing and she distributed amongst her friends. And she's no longer homeless, but she still does these things as a way to give back. And there's a number of ways that we can give back as well. So this next story is about the organization, The Bread of the Mighty. They're a food bank that distributes to a 5-county radius, Alachua, Dixie, Gilchrist, Lafayette, and Levy. As an individual, you can't go in there and purchase food yourself. There's 150 agencies, often faith-based and advocacy-based, that distribute to either senior citizen homes or to impoverished areas, and last year alone they distributed over 4 million pounds of food. Now here you'll notice the food desert, or the food wasteland. The US government only provides canned corns to Bread of the Mighty. The rest of the donations come from Publix, Winn-Dixie, Walmart, and even private donators. What I noted during this, while I was covering this, is that the volunteers themselves are no better off than the recipients of the donations. And on these food drops, the atmosphere is very charged. Oftentimes the volunteers are verbally abused. The people are very aggressive because they feel entitled to all this food, but they're getting no support. And this is why we ask you and urge you to give back in some way. If you'd like to find out more on how you can give back, you can come and visit our website at the15percent.wordpress.com. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to getting you connected.